to make mini masterboards for junk journals. Welcome, this is Barbara from Vienna, Austria, and this is your channel for vintage inspired art and junk journaling. I was recently inspired by a video I saw from Pam from the Paper Outpost, which I will link for you below, where she makes these mini masterboards on index cards, and it looked like such a fun project, so I wanted to try my own version of it and hope that you will find some inspiration in this video as well. So masterboards, in case you're not familiar with them, are typically made on larger scale and then cut down to use the pieces in whatever size you need them to be, which can then be decorated further if you want. For example, like these, which are also from my shop. And by creating them on a smaller scale, they're ready to go as they are. So let's just give this a try. Now, I didn't have any index cards, so I looked through my supplies and found these moderation type cards, which are usually used in trainings or seminars. I sorted out some of the white ones and cut them down to 5 by 3¼ inches or roughly 13 by 8 centimeters. Then I coffee dyed them and always glued 2 together since they were a bit too flimsy for my liking. So I now have 8 pieces of coffee dyed cards, which are sturdy enough to be a really good card to collage on. And of course the collage is going to make it a little more sturdy as well. Next to me I have my drawer of neutral toned scraps. And I also want to challenge myself to use some things that I usually don't use a lot in my collages. So I have a whole bunch of stickers here that I haven't used in forever. Then I have some beautiful stickers. These are from Your Creative Studio. I have these left over from some of Amanda's boxes. Then we have these type of stickers. More florals here. Then of course I have this one, which was also this was in the last Your Creative Studio box. And I have these round ones. I have these, which are also from the Your Creative Studio box. And then I have these random ones. I think these came from the store Action, which is a Dutch chain. I have some here that are actually fall themed, so I probably got them last year during fall and then didn't use most of them because I don't really use stickers hardly ever. So let's see if I can do something with these. Here's some more images that can be used as background pieces. I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but let's just play with these. So I also want to decide always on which side I'm actually gonna make the collage, because I do want to leave the back side blank to maybe journal on or do whatever on. This one, I really love how that turned out, and that just happened because it was for drying. It was laying on a newspaper that was already wet, and I always use that same newspaper for drying when I coffee dye. So, and it had some like yellow coloring, I think, from my Wild Honey Distress Stain on it, so it kind of just took what was on the newspaper, and it looks so cool, I think. Okay, maybe we can work on several at once. I've tried that once for something else which didn't work, so let me try this again. I want to not think so much as I am doing these, so let's see if that works. As always, I just like kind of tearing my pieces. And for the background now, I want to make sure that the whole piece is covered. So, this idea of masterboards, to me personally, was relatively new. I just learned about this, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, and I think it is such a great idea. I'm gonna have some of these pieces like go over the edge because I'm gonna cut them down afterwards anyway. Like that, and I'm thinking actually I should just glue them down as I'm going along rather than just laying them there and then gluing them on later. So this, in case you haven't seen it in my last video with the junk journal with me, this is actually not our glitter glue, although it is the bottle. It is tacky glue mixed with a tiny bit of water. And I'm just using this bottle because it's super handy for collaging. Kind of fun to work on multiple cards at the same time, but I don't know if my brain can handle it. I don't know if I can concentrate on 3 at the same time and all of them turning out well. So this is a great challenge. I love this. And maybe it's quicker. I don't know actually if it's quicker than doing them one by one. No idea. Here's some prints of some map paper. I think this is from the Digital Collage Club. I don't want to keep this border here, this black border, so I will put it down in a way where I can then just cut it off. Okay, what else? Maybe we can add some of this. I would love to hear if you have ever tried working with masterboards. And I always say this, if you work with neutral colors, you cannot go wrong with backgrounds. It's always gonna work out. And it is such a good feeling to use your scraps. The challenge is not to make more scraps while you're using scraps. You know what I mean? Here's just some crumpled coffee dyed paper. I'm not sure if this makes sense, but I'm just gonna use it. Do I want to introduce some green maybe? Let's go for it. Let's be adventurous. And there's some matte paper with some green in it that I think would work really well. Love this one. I think this is from one of Maureen's shop. Her grungy kit that she has in her store. I will link Maureen's store below as well, again, because she has amazing digitals, beautiful kits. Okay, these two are covered. I need something else on this one. This is some coffee dyed vintage book paper. Some vintage book page. I think this was gifted to me. Okay, one more piece for up there, and then we have 3 done. I mean, 3 backgrounds done anyway. Let's take some of this. Okay, they are all completely covered, so now I just want to trim off any excess here so that we have the edges so we can actually see what the card looks like. So there's one. This took like what, like 5 minutes now for all 3? So this is awesome. So these are really great to have on hand for your journals for those days when you don't feel like you want to spend a long time to create a journal spread, or you don't have the time but you still want something pretty. So you could make these in advance and then they are ready to go for you when you need them. Okay, 3 are ready to go. So now the question is, how do we embellish them further? So before I put some stickers on, I maybe want to add some postage stamps. I have a vintage stamp album here, which I found at my local flea market. And I have been collecting stamps for a while, so I have sorted these kind of by theme more than color. So here I have all my florals, for example, here going into the birds, insects, other animals here. So I rarely use these pretty ones because I like to hoard them. I usually like using the ones like, for example, landscapes, buildings, sometimes the portraits. I have here a whole page of Christmassy ones, artsy ones. These are the kinds that I would also actually use. So for example, which one could we take here? I really like this one. It's also nice and neutral. So maybe we'll put that on one. Also this one is great with the green. Maybe that'll go on the one with the green. And then there's another green one. An Egyptian theme there. What else? Oh, I do like this one as well. Again, like the neutral colors as always. Can we be a bit more bold maybe? I'm not sure. Some of these I really just like to hoard. I have this Spanish one. Oh, I have him twice. Okay, if I have one twice, then I'm happy to use one. This is one from Spain. Otherwise, I'm reluctant if I love it. I'm gonna use this one. This is cool. It's also Czech, but it's more neutral, and I have it twice. Okay, let's see how we can add these. So this one I want turned this way. This one, maybe something like up here. This one is kind of very empty up here, so I need something there. Maybe like that. This one I think goes well here, somewhere like this. And I don't like putting any of these like smack in the middle. That would just be too predictable and boring and doesn't create any sort of dynamic. I do want to add another green one, maybe down here like this, and we could add one here, and I feel like it needs one more here, and I want it to also be a neutral one. How about this Italian one? That's a real pretty one. Yes, love that. So let's just glue these down quickly. And then we can see what else we can add. So maybe. So as I said, I want to add, whoops, wrong direction. I want to add some stickers. Maybe we'll add some sentiments or words. These are super fun and quick to make. You could do the same thing, of course, with book pages. You don't need cardstock like I did, or you use cardstock that you don't like, and you just cover the back side. If you want to have a back side for writing, you just cover that with some paper, like coffee stained paper or tea stained paper, something like that. Because usually when you buy cardstock, you get them in like a whole pad, and there's always pages in there that we don't like. At least for me, that's the case. Okay, I'm loving these so far. So now let's see what kind of stickers that we can maybe add to these. I do want to add some of these florals. These here, the black and white ones, or maybe even the gold. Maybe the gold would look really nice. These I got a long time ago from AliExpress. I hardly buy anything from them anymore. I kind of want to support local artists now more. Okay, so let's try a gold one. I really think a gold one would be nice with that one. Maybe even like a partial one would be nice. Something like this. As always, I don't like when it has such a wide edge around it, so I will fussy cut this, because you do see the white even when it's adhered. Okay, I think this is gonna look much better now. There. Okay, what do we do here? That one's kind of cool. And I like that one too. Again, I will fussy cut around these. Since I have two of these, I want to show you the difference between fussy cut and non-fussy cut. Look at that. That is a huge difference for me. So I really don't like these. So it is a little bit extra effort, but I believe it is totally worth it. So there's the second one. Really like how that looks. Finally, we have this one here for the third one. Again, I don't want to put this smack in the middle. It needs to be on one of the sides. Don't really want to cover up that stamp. Maybe I'll just put it like this. So that's number 3. Zoomed you in a little bit so you can see better. So I'm still kind of thinking of background now, and so I'm thinking maybe some of these will work. So let's use this clock. There is one round element here already, so maybe we'll just add another round element. But where? Maybe a partial round element? Yep, a partial round element, so I'll put that here. There is such joy in just sticking things down for some reason. I don't know if you feel the same, but it is so rewarding because it doesn't really take a lot of effort, but it can have such a huge impact on a project. So this one is great. Where can we stick this? And then I like this one. It's an easy one as well. And now I want to see, do I want to add any of these stickers? Now these stickers obviously are going to jump out from these cards, meaning they need to be the focal point. So let's see, we have definitely some fall themed ones here. How cute is this owl? Maybe we need to use that. It's kind of big though. What else? I do like this clock here. Is that gonna look weird? Let's see. I kind of like it on this one, but it again has too much white around. All right, that's better. And now I also want to ink around the edges, so just a little bit with my vintage photo. Not too much. And now I've forgotten which collage was I gonna add this. So it's this way up. Was it this one? Yeah, I guess it was this one. And I don't trust it to stick well enough on its own, even though it's a sticker. And this one now I'm actually gonna put pretty much in the center, which is okay, I think, in this case. And I think I do need to add some sort of a sentiment to this later. So that's number 1. Ooh, I have a nice little bird here. It even has a little bit of sparkles, not too much. I think the bird would go well with this branch here. But I don't think I want the whole bird. Let's see, it's kind of big with a branch that is sitting on. Yeah, I don't want that whole branch, so I'm just gonna cut a piece off. And of course I'm going to fussy cut around him too, because that white edge is way too much for me. I have inked around him as well, so this is what he looks like now. Much better, I think. So how do we position him? I like him there. And again, I put some glue on the back side. And now we need something for this one. Let's look at the stickers. I don't think I want a round element for this one. Let's see what they look like if I just ink them without cutting around them. Yeah, I think that will work for these. Yep, I can totally work with that. Let's do that for the other one too. So how do we do this? One right here, and then this one like this. So let's think about words, sentiments. So I'm going to use some from my nature sentiments from my shop. And I think on this one, I'll just put the good vibes. Somehow I might cut this down a little bit. On this one, I want to add the animal spirit. And on this one says, adapt the pace of nature, her secret is patience. Because I think that works well with the clock. Again, this one I will have to cut down as well. And then I will have to go over them with my tea dye, because I don't want them white. So just gonna take my blending brush and go over these. I think that's the quickest way to take the white off copy paper. Of course, it would look nicer if it was coffee dyed or tea dyed, but you gotta work with what you have at the moment, right? Okay, and I will of course ink around these as well. Time to glue these down. I usually put them, as you see here, I always like to put them in the bottom right for some reason, but now I wanted to challenge myself to put it somewhere else. Because you just have to switch it up. You can't always do the same thing. You gotta break the rules sometimes. But with this one, I just need to stick to that. And I think with this one as well. At least 1 out of 3. I broke out of my comfort zone. We could round the corners of these, but I don't think I want that. So I will just ink up all of the edges, front and back. So here's the first 3 ready to go. Really loving these. In the meantime, I have already prepared the rest of the backgrounds here, because now you've seen how to do that. I think it's kind of boring to watch me cover all of these, but these are what they look like. And I even made 2 small ones, because I think small ones are really cute. And these are simply the offcuts from these, because, you know, I cut these down. So these are just the other pieces that were left that I have also coffee dyed. And so I just covered these 2 as well. So let's do at least one more big one, and then maybe we'll do one small one. And then maybe we'll add one to our journal. I think that's always fun. I like this one actually, with the bird's nest there. And I want to use some butterflies on this one. These are from my shop actually. Since this is such a neutral background, we are very flexible with what colors we can use here. And there is a little bit of orange here, so we could go with that. Yes, I think it would be very nice to have some orange butterflies. big. So is this, but these two actually both are beautiful. Something like that. I could be having like a little butterfly dance. So I've quickly inked up the edges just to get rid of any white, and I'm wondering if we should also add maybe a floral element somewhere. We could even do this big one. Yeah, it blends nicely into the background. So yeah, I think that works really well. We can actually add another one up here, smaller one. And why don't we add the little butterfly as well, so that we have 3. Still feel like it needs something else in the background. Or maybe it just needs a word. These are just typed in Word and then printed on coffee dyed paper. So either love or secrets. Kind of like the secrets better. Could try something like this. This is from Packaging. Something different for sure. Let's try inking it up a little bit. I have another idea. I think it's time for some gilding wax. Yay! Still love this. Haven't used it a lot. This thing is like magic. It just makes everything look so cool. Look at this shine now. How cool is that? And I do think we need to have it in a few more places. So maybe I'll try to edge the secrets with it. Very, very subtle. So let's glue that on. And of course our butterflies need some just touches of it. Let me go over the sides of the card first, because then I can clean my fingers and then we can glue the elements down. The best way to clean your fingers after using this gilding wax is with a baby wipe. It doesn't come off as well with water and soap. Oh wow, this is so beautiful. I hope you can kind of see that. Changes the whole thing. So there's our number 4. Let's do one of these smaller ones now. We'll do this one. Oh, there's one thing I forgot. Wait a minute. I wanted to draw their antennas, because I don't tend to cut those out because they're just so thin. There, now they have feelers. On this one, why don't we start out with adding some stamping here. So I have this stamp, which I think came from one of the Your Creative Studio subscription boxes, and I'm going to use my Memento Espresso Truffle ink. I don't want it to be a harsh black. This is a little more subtle. Yeah, very subtle. And I have this little bee stamp here. Not sure where I got this from. I've had it for a really long time. Let's see if there is a transparent sticker from this pad that we could use. I'm gonna try this clock right here. Again, I just cut some of that border off. And since we have this bee stamp here, why don't we add some of the Your Creative Studio bee stickers, like maybe this one here. And there's also some smaller bees that we can add. And for this one, I thought maybe I would add a number label. So I keep mine in this beautiful box or tin that I got from Postal Love from Instagram. I will list her, it's actually Sharika. She has this account, Postal Love, where she sells vintage ephemera and sometimes tins like this. I have a few of her from these, and I just love these for things like labels and stuff. So I'm gonna pick one of these. These are from my shop as well. And I think it needs just something, I don't know, maybe the red. It needs something bold, I feel like. That's too big. To get rid of the white again. I'm gonna call this one done as well. So here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a small one. I would like to add this one to my current signature in my journal. So let's put these away. So this is the signature I've been working on. And let's add that here. And I think the way I want to do this, I'm just gonna use one of my snippet roll copies. So this is also from my shop. And I think I want to make like a top loading tuck spot. And actually I can use this smaller piece. But I want to strengthen it a bit, so maybe I'll just put some book page behind it. These book pages are just good for everything. So I'm just gonna glue this on. Still a bit too wide. Yeah, that will work. So I'll ink up the edges. And I think it would be really nice to add some real lace onto this. So here we have some lace on the snippet roll. So why don't we add a piece? Maybe that's a bit big. This one. Yep, that's better. Do we put it over? the other piece, or do we put it here? No, I think I want it here. What if we add another butterfly up there so that we have 3 butterflies? I kind of like that idea. So this is going to be stuck in like this. He is an option. Or something completely different. Well, that would be nice too, right? If we switch it up exactly. If we switch it up completely and not go tone and tone. Kind of like this one. Again, getting rid of white edges. And he's gonna need some gilding wax to fit in with the others. And maybe we also put the gilding wax here. Yeah, once you start, you can't stop. I will link a similar gilding wax for you below. This one I got locally. But it is super fun to work with. Well, let's glue this down. So I'm just gonna put glue on 3 sides. I want to be quite generous here on the sides because I want the card not to fall out. I wouldn't usually put glue that much in, but I think in this case it's gonna help us to secure it. Again, let's add the antennas. So hopefully this will hold. Yeah, it's tight enough. So that's just one of many ways that you could add a card to your journal page, and we have some journaling space on the back. So I will be journaling off camera on this sometime. So I hope you had fun joining me in making these kind of mini masterboards. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. If you want to see more, I have plenty of more ideas to come. Thank you for hanging out with me. I love you guys. Mwah, mwah.